Hello and welcome to Granada Reports, live with the latest news across the northwest.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Here's what's coming up on tonight's programme.
The jury finds Mohammed Amaz guilty of assaulting 2 female police officers at Manchester Airport.
The trial arose after this video was seen by millions. The jury was unable to reach verdicts on allegations that Amaz and his brother assaulted the male police officer involved.
Also on the programme tonight. A year on from last summer's unrest, we hear from those still feeling unsafe in the communities they call home.
To see people like that with the riots like that, it obviously going to make you scared.
Searing honesty from a star, former Hollyoaks actor Stephanie opens up on the pressures of fame.
We meet the team bringing facelifts to community spaces and cleaning up on TikTok.
And we're hoping for some glimmers of sunshine over the next few days, but a hint that next week looks very unsettled. I'll have all the details in the weather later on.
So first tonight, to the outcome of that trial of 2 brothers from Rochdale accused of attacking police officers at Manchester Airport.
Yeah, this afternoon, younger brother Mohammed Amaz was found guilty of assaulting 2 female police officers during the fracas in July last year.
The jury couldn't reach verdicts on allegations that Amaz and his older brother Mohammed Ahmad assaulted PC Zachary Marsden.
Well, the incident was caught on various cameras and the mobile phone footage of an alleged kick and stamp by PC Marsden was shared on social media. Now, some viewers may find that footage distressing.
Anna Youssef joins us now from Liverpool Crown Court. Anna.
Well, throughout this trial, brothers Mohammed Amaz and Mohammed Ahmad have maintained that they acted in self-defence or in defence of each other. This afternoon, after 10 hours of deliberations, the jury returned verdicts for some, but not all, of the charges. Mohammed Amaz was found guilty of attacking the 2 female policewomen. He was also found guilty of assaulting a member of the public in a cafe in the airport just earlier on in the day. But the jury wasn't able to reach verdicts on allegations Amaz and his brother attacked the male armed officer PC Zachary Marsden. Footage played to the jurors showed PC Marsden allegedly kicking Mohammed Amaz in the face while he was on the ground after he'd been tasered, and then apparently aiming what appeared to be a stamp on his head. When the verdicts were announced, there was no reaction from the dock or from the packed public gallery. Now, what happened that day in Manchester Airport has generated a huge amount of public interest and outrage from the outset. And a year on, it continues to raise serious questions about police conduct and trial by social media. Caught on camera and viewed by millions, this video sparked widespread outrage. A police officer with a taser kicking and stamping on the head of a 19-year-old lying face down on the floor. The same officer also kicks the man's brother to the ground. Within hours of the incident, the brothers appeared in another video with their solicitor, who described them as traumatised. Protests then broke out in the brothers' hometown of Rochdale and Manchester city centre.
We do not trust the police.
If people have broken the law, then arrest them. But when they're down on the ground with their arms behind their backs, don't kick them in the head.
If the public's done something wrong, they get charged straight away. Why is there so much neglect from the police when it happens to their own?
I think we need to ask ourselves, in this country, in this city, where are we going when this level of violence is being shown by the authorities?
GMP announced the male police officer involved had been suspended, but Greater Manchester's mayor hinted it wasn't a clear-cut situation.
It's not for any of us just to rush to judgment and say they know everything on the back of something on social media. The right thing to do is to have a process of investigation that is as independent as it can be.
Fresh footage then emerged of what had happened before the kick. It showed Mohammed Amaz hitting 2 policewomen and a male officer who were trying to arrest him for headbutting a member of the public minutes earlier. One of the female officers suffered a broken nose. In a press conference, the brothers claimed they were the victims of a smear campaign. They also alleged their mother was left badly bruised after being hit in the face with a taser during the incident.
The two young men sat here today, along with their mother and family, are left devastated and traumatised by the incident at Manchester Airport. Despite the clear attempt by some to place disinformation in the media and on social media, the young men sat next to me do not have a single criminal conviction, not even a speeding ticket.
5 months later, the Crown Prosecution Service decided the male armed officer, PC Zachary Marsden, wouldn't be charged with any criminal offence, while Amaz and his brother would face assault charges. During the 4-week trial at Liverpool Crown Court, both brothers denied the allegations and claimed they acted in self-defence or in defence of each other. Amaz said that when he was grabbed by PC Marsden at a car park pay station, he hadn't realised he was a police officer. He'd resisted arrest even when he saw his police uniform because he feared the officer was going to batter him to death. It's emerged PC Marsden, the officer filmed kicking Amaz in the head, could still face criminal charges. He's been investigated by the police complaints watchdog over allegations of professional misconduct towards Amaz and other members of the public.
So, Anna, what happens next?
Well, Katie, just in the past hour, it's been announced that both defendants will be, there will be a retrial for both defendants on count 2. That's the count that the jury couldn't decide on, the assault against PC Zachary Marsden. We've also just heard from the Chief Constable of Greater Manchester Police. He said that while he's disappointed that the prosecution case wasn't fully endorsed, he, quote, welcomes the findings of the jury in respect of the convicted offender, whose appalling conduct has now been exposed to legitimate public scrutiny. The case has now been adjourned until tomorrow morning. Mohammed Amaz has been remanded into custody. His brother Mohammed Ahmad has been released on bail.
Anna at Liverpool Crown Court for us tonight. Thank you.
Well, next tonight, and it was amid the shock and disgust of the murders which took place in Southport a year ago that riots spread across the country.
Hundreds were arrested. Millions of pounds worth of damage was caused in the disorder. It was fuelled by false claims that the 3 girls at a dance class were killed by a Muslim immigrant.
Well, tonight we hear from those left feeling unsafe in their own communities and uneasiness which still lingers 12 months on.
We'll also hear from those who say while justice came swiftly and severely, action still needs to be taken to ensure similar scenes aren't repeated.
Emma Sweeney now reports.
It had all the hallmarks of a scene out of step with contemporary Britain. But this was Southport in August of 2024. Just one day earlier, 3 little girls had been murdered during a holiday dance class. But as locals quietly wept, rioters began to gather.
We found ourselves between 2 lines of riot police on St Luke's Road, just round the corner from yesterday's knife attack.
Amid an information vacuum, people presumed the perpetrator was a Muslim immigrant. Speculation that began online and was quickly picked up by the far right. Soon the local mosque became a target.
Everyone here shouting, throw the stones, put the fires, too many things, very, very bad. We never saw these things in Southport.
The disorder began to spread. There were scenes in Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, London, and even when it became clear that the attacker was neither an immigrant nor a Muslim, it didn't seem to matter.
Here in Piccadilly Gardens, which is the centre of the multicultural city that is Manchester, bricks and bottles were thrown at police, shops were looted, but perhaps in the most disturbing incident of all, a lone black man was set upon by a mob in the far corner just over there. He was punched, he was kicked, with some even calling for him to be killed.
Sydney has asked us to protect her real identity. She's part of the Caribbean and African Health Network in Manchester. She recalls how she suddenly felt like a stranger in her own home.
Manchester has been my home for 22 years. Before the riot, I felt safe, but after the riot, it made me feel unsafe. I have family members around, I have children, thinking that something similar could happen to us was frightening.
There were riots outside hotels housing asylum seekers too. Ibrahim was in Bristol at the time.
To see people like that with a riot like that, it obviously gonna make you scared that, or you might get stabbed in any moment, or you might get attacked by these people. There was a lot of women crying, a lot of children crying, a lot of other people crying as well in the hotel.
The government, for its part, promised swift and just action for those involved.
The police will be making arrests, individuals will be held on remand, charges will follow, and convictions will follow. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online.
Keir Starmer stood by his word. Hundreds of protesters were arrested and jailed up and down the country. But some say to just see this as a story as the far right versus mainstream is too simplistic. Many say they attended those protests last year not because they are in any way affiliated with the far right, but because they have legitimate concerns and they wanted to make their voices heard. Concerns around the levels of people coming into the country and also concerns around socio-economic deprivation.
Both Ibrahim and Cindy say they understand these issues, but say it isn't minority groups that people should be angry with.
I'm not responsible for cutting the fund of the NHS. I'm not responsible for raising the price. A lot of asylum seekers, the majority of them are desperate to leave these hotels and work like any other person.
We need to resolve those fundamental issues, which are employment, health. People are looking for jobs, people are homeless. So it's important those issues are resolved. Otherwise, the likelihood of this event happening again is very high.
And Emma's here now. So, Emma, how are those issues resolved?
Well, I mean, Rob, that is the million-pound question, right? Many experts agree that there needs to be more investment, basically, within those communities. The question, of course, is where does that money come from? The Institute for Public Policy Research says it has the answer, and the answer, it says, lies with big corporations.
Something like an Amazon tax to raise more money to fund community spaces like parks, pubs, community centres, cafes, after-school clubs. And this it tries to connect the dots between three things: the decline of the high street, the rise of online giants, and the loss of community spaces. And it's inspired by a law that's more than 100 years old, the Miners' Industry Act.
So the IPPR are saying there needs to be more community spaces. The People's Health Trust saying something similar, actually. They recently surveyed 50 grassroots organisations working with minority communities directly affected by the riots, and they say that there is a lasting mental and physical impact felt by members of those communities. They want the government to acknowledge that, but they also say that there needs to be community developments to bring communities together. The government, for its part, says that it recognises that the Southport riots last year highlighted a need for community cohesion, and which is why it has invested £1.5 billion into across 75 areas to help with community projects. Now, of course, what happened last year happened in large part because of the spread of mis and disinformation online, and there are at the moment it's quite a big debate going on in Parliament because some MPs say that the current online safety laws, they're just not strong enough, and they worry with the advancement of AI what happened last year could happen again, but even worse, they say that all needs to be tightened up.
Emma, thank you very much.
Well, next, and a former Hollyoaks actress has opened up about life beyond showbiz in her first ever book. Stephanie Waring from Urmston in Greater Manchester was among the early cast of the show.
Yeah, she first appeared in 1996 as Cindy. Her book, Breaking the Script, looks at much more than just the loss of her job when she was told she was no longer needed for the part.
Yeah, and we should warn you that Steph opens up in this interview about her mental health journey, and there's also a photo of her when she was living with anorexia. She's been speaking to our entertainment correspondent, Caroline Whitmore.
Steph, we're here at your lovely home in Manchester. Thank you for letting us in.
You're very welcome.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. I've just had it renovated last year.
You were on Hollyoaks.
Hey, you. What are you up to? Fancy a drink?
And you were one of the OG cast from Hollyoaks.
It's a 28-year strong character for me, yeah. So I started back in 1996 and I went back full-time in 2008, so a long time.
And what was the highlight for you of playing Cindy?
Being the first person to give birth on the show, a lovely badge of honour to wear.
You've written a book.
It's called Breaking the Script, and it's basically a multi-layered story of significant events in my life. Everything from mental health, eating disorders, relationships, menopause. Hollyoaks was changing to fall in line with how people watch TV now, so they cut their episodes down from 5 to 3 per week, which meant cuts across the whole line pictures. They just said, you know, we'll be losing Cindy from the show, and said they were sorry, and it was like my world just fell apart. And I did write about it and took it back to the first trauma that I'd ever been through in my life, and that was having an eating disorder. I had anorexia at 14, 15 years old, and I nearly died. So I had to relive all that.
You showed me the photographs. It makes me well up looking at them. How does it make you feel looking back at those photographs?
It's really hard to look back on that time because when you're in the grips of a mental illness, it's like you leave yourself. You're not you. You're a shell of yourself. When I was 10, I was a big girl for my age, and I think that's when it all started for me. I went on a diet, and that diet just didn't end. So then when I got Hollyoaks and then got bulimia, I got on 3 stone in 1 year. Everyone was doing the lads mags, and it became the sexiest show on TV. And I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be in those lads mags. There were a lot of regrets of not getting out of that addiction loop, because that's what it is. And I broke free of that about 5 years ago. I now have a coaching business alongside being an actress. You know, she got to pay the bill somehow. I've also just created a food freedom guide, which is to help people break free from the food rules, diet culture.
I want you to be a mother. First time for everything, eh?
I just want to say that my book isn't about Hollyoaks. I haven't told anyone else's story. This is just mine. And how I felt after walking around that building, knowing that I wasn't going to be there again.
It's really refreshing to hear you talking so honestly about it.
You hit the nail on the head about the honesty. I am an open book. I don't believe in filtering. I don't have one. That's the idea behind the book, that once you're broken, you can fix yourself and come back stronger.
Thank you for welcoming us into your home.
Thank you so much for having me, Caroline.
Powerful words there, and if you're affected by the issues raised in that report, you can find links to get help and support on our website. That's at itv.com/Granada.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that Hollyoaks started 30 years ago. Time now for sport, and there's been a first goal for Liverpool's record new signing, David.
Yes, it's Florian Wirtz's first of what Liverpool fans hope will be many goals this season. The £116 million man has been on target for his new club today. The forward scored their opening goal in their 3-1 win over Japanese side Yokohama F. Marinos in their latest pre-season friendly out in the Far East. Well, one player no longer at the club is Luis Diaz, who today completed his loan move to Bayern Munich for £65 million. While Everton and Manchester United continue their build-up to the new Premier League season tonight with pre-season friendlies over in America. Closer to home, United's under-16s had some famous names both in action and also in the crowd for their latest game in the Youth Super Cup in Northern Ireland. The sons of Wayne Rooney and Michael Carrick both played as United's next generation beat Rangers 2-0. And for Rooney Senior, the tournament holds special memories as 25 years ago he played there with Everton.
I loved it. I remember the disco at the end of the tournament. That was good. I enjoyed that. But no, I ended up playing centre back in 1 or 2 of the games as well. So I've got great memories of being around my teammates in the hotel we stayed in. And so overall, yeah, really good memories. Obviously proud to see him playing for Manchester United, and just hope he goes out and enjoys the tournament, because I know I did. It was something which is certainly stuck in my mind and my memories for the right reason. So. If he goes and enjoys it, then I'll be happy.
Well, sadly, the crisis at Morecambe is getting worse, with the first-team football operations there stopping today. Insurance covering the players has lapsed, with many of the squad now leaving the National League side to find other clubs. While the current owner, Jason Whittingham, is being urged to sell to the group the Punjab Warriors, who say they are ready to invest. Now, there's exciting news for North West basketball fans today. The NBA have announced that Manchester will host its first ever regular season game. It'll be at the Co-op Live in 2027. Meanwhile, Lancashire have completed what's being called a landmark agreement, which will earn the club around £70 million. They've sold a 70% stake in their 100 side, the Manchester Originals, to the Indian group RPSG. And finally from me to the latest Hollywood star supporting one of our North West football clubs. Manchester United have Julia Roberts and Liverpool have former Bond actor Daniel Craig as their fans. Well, now Rochdale can also boast an A-lister among their supporters.
Up the Dow.
Yes, none other than Ray Winstone, the star of films such as The Departed and Sexy Beast, is now a follower of the National League side, thanks to their new signing, Casey Petit.
I'm very pleased to be sponsoring Casey Petit, one of my favourite footballers in the whole wide world. Good luck, Rochdale. Crack on.
What a great person to have sponsoring it. Apparently, his dad knows Ray, so that's where the link comes in. But still, great sponsor.
That makes sense now.
Can't wait to see him watching that. Thanks so much, David.
That's brilliant.
Well, finally tonight to the clean-up team who are taking TikTok by storm by sprucing up local playgrounds and community centres, all in their spare time.
It's the brainchild of Andy Salem from Liverpool. He's gathered a team who've become renowned for eye-catching videos as they tidy up areas across the city.
Yeah, he hopes it'll act as a call for everyone to take pride in where they live, as I found out when I went to meet him. Meet Andy, the head of the TikToking team on a mission to clean up Liverpool's parks. With their bright orange balaclavas, they're hard to miss. And their efforts to clean up local playgrounds are also standout. They've racked up millions of views on socials as they put their skills as professional waste removers to good use, and all in their own time. It all started when Andy took his daughter to a park that was in need of a lot of TLC.
It wasn't in the best condition, it was really run down. So I thought I want to clean this, but at the time I had the ability, but it was too much of a project to take on my own. So I went and cleaned the park, Newsham Park, which I frequent with my little girl, and I filmed it, and it just went viral on the internet.
And guess what? It's not just me anymore.
As their following grew online, so did the number of local businesses and volunteers who wanted to get involved. Were you surprised how many people have got in touch with you to say we want to help?
Yeah, I was, to be honest with you. It was, the support's been amazing, and it's been phenomenal. And I think it's definitely a Liverpool thing, you know. We support our own.
Some of those volunteers are here today as we join them at Botanic Park in Wavertree. They're all working to transform this pavilion used by hundreds of grassroots footballers week in, week out.
We wanted to give it a lick of paint, deep clean the floors and paint all the glosswork. So as you can see, all the little bits and bobs are getting screwed back on now. We've just got the deep clean of the floor left to do. Yeah, come and see the new canteen. We've refitted it out, all new worktops and cladding.
It was looking great, isn't it?
If we can't do it, we'll ask a local volunteer. So if you see my number phoning you, you might not want to pick up. I might be asking you to do something for charity.
Rang us 2 days ago and said, can you come along? So we've come this morning, we've cleaned toilet floors, we're going to do the canteen, the hall, we've deep cleaned the toilets. It's great to be able to be in a position to be able to offer it.
As well as cleaners, there's builders, joiners, decorators, and all of them have given up their time for free.
So we've been transforming this kitchen space, so we're putting new worktops in.
Like Paul, who pulled his team off another job to help out.
I think we've all got sort of a social responsibility to keep our communities as well as they can be, especially with grassroots football as well. It's a big part of the city, football, so something like this, when Andy mentioned it, I thought, you know what, yeah, we'll definitely get involved in that.
And for Andrew, it was a chance to improve the facilities at the grassroots venue he once played at himself.
Do you know what, it's nice because no one's moaning at each other either. You can't snag anyone's work when it's for free, can you? It's nice to be able to give back because I went on to play professional football and maybe I wouldn't have if, you know, fields like this weren't available in Liverpool.
Honestly, he's the fastest painter, won an award. You'll see us post that video. It was boss, actually. We had a bit of fun then, didn't we?
What does it take to be the fastest painter?
Elbow grease.
There you go. And paint.
Winner, chicken dinner!
It's like DIY SOS.
Better. Better if you ask me. The Scouse version. I'm sorry.
So where's next?
Keep asking, I might come to your park soon.
Well, keep an eye out. They could be on their way to a park near you. I wish he'd come to my house. I could do with his old team.
You could do my kitchen. That'd be great. Knock yourself out. Let's get the forecast now. Joe is here with the weather.
Why do I need a shower? I've been out in the rain.
The faster you go, the sooner you'll be out. You'll save water too.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thank you. Very good evening to you. Bit of a cloudy start to the day today, but there has been a bit of brightness around. We're chasing that around over the next few days, interspersed with a few showers, it has to be said. Briefly settling down to end the working week, but during the weekend, low pressure takes control once again, and into next week. It does look rather unsettled. We can see here pressure-wise that Friday, Saturday, not looking too bad at all, but waiting out in the wings, low pressure and associated fronts that's likely to bring a spell of heavy rain during Sunday and into Monday. That's them, this is now, and for us here in the northwest it's likely to be pretty quiet overnight tonight. The odd shower, and down to the southwest of our region, Merseyside, Cheshire for a time, the remnants of some rain on an occluded front, but by dawn most places will be dry, there's a light breeze, and it's pretty warm, 14 or 15 Celsius away from towns and cities before tomorrow morning. Now on to the details for tomorrow. Those are the sun times. It is up at 5:23, setting at 11 minutes past 9 tomorrow evening. The details for tomorrow then, a bit of early brightness to look forward to, a gentle breeze, but perhaps a little cooler in general than today, especially for coastal areas. And as you can see on that breeze through the afternoon, a smattering of showers pushing down into our part of the world. Most of these will peter out by tomorrow evening. There's some sunshine around them. Temperatures will get to 21 Celsius tomorrow. Looking ahead, and it will be settling down with high pressure in the driving seat for Friday, so some sunshine to come there through the afternoon. Saturday should be dry, but low pressure swings in from the west for Sunday, bringing a spell of rain and some freshening winds. Bye-bye.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thanks, Joe. Where's the sun gone?
Yeah, low pressure. No words no one wants to hear. That's Granada Puts this Wednesday. We're back with a late update after news at 10.
Yeah, hope you can join us. Until then, thanks so much for watching. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.